Has been filed, but this CCTV footage that has now caused a lot of shock. The teacher is in a critical condition, is undergoing treatment because of what happened. Derailed student who attacked his teacher in broad daylight. The student who tried to molest his teacher, and that too within the school premises. Harassed teacher who also changed the school only for the student, so he had been stalking her for a while, and the danger that she had been sensing on part of that student. Let me take this to my colleague Samarth Srivastava joining us on the broadcast as we stay with this CCTV footage. Samarth, what are the inside details coming in?
See, a disturbing incident has emerged from the Manpuri Sadar Kotwali area, bringing shame to the sacred teacher-student relationship. A teenage class 12 student launched a murderous attack on his own female teacher based on a complaint filed by the teacher's brother. The police have registered a case and initiated a probe. The class 12 student, a resident of the Sadar Kotwali area, initially began harassing the teacher at the school. When the matter was reported to his parents, his behavior improved briefly, but he soon resumed his antics. Distressed by the harassment, the teacher left that school and joined another. However, the student did not stop here. He began stalking her at her new workplace as well. When the teacher confronted him, the student took a horrific step. While the teacher was heading to a student's house for tuition, the accused intercepted her. He forcefully grabbed her by the neck, dragged her forward, and then brutally attacked her before fleeing the scene. Due to her critical condition, she was referred to the district hospital to a facility in Agra, where she is currently undergoing treatment at a private hospital. CCTV footage has captured the student dragging the teacher by the neck before becoming violent. Back to you.
Continue talking to us, Samarth. Is the student still a minor? Has a complaint been filed? Is the police further looking into the matter? What is the action that the family is planning to take?
See, he's a class 12 student and it seems that he's a minor. According to the FIR registered by the teacher's brother, his sister teaches at a private school. The accused, a class 12 student and resident of Manpuri city, had been stalking her and frequently making lewd gestures. When the sister complained to the student's mother during the parent-teacher meeting, the mother assured them it would not happen again. However, the student's behavior did not improve. Frustrated, the teacher changed schools, but the student continued to stalk her. These are there as well. On the day of this incident, as she was heading to a coaching session, the student who was lying in wait blocked her path and began molesting her. While she resisted, the psychic student attacked her with a sharp object, targeting her face. In an act of extreme cruelty, he bit off both her lips, and the injured teacher was immediately rushed to the hospital. So this is the details emerging from Manpuri, and police has already launched investigation in this particular case. Back to you.
Extremely shocking, Samarth, to the kind of details that are coming in. Also speaks of the mental state of the student, whether he went through therapy or what sort of help that was provided to him by the school, by the family, and how long was this really continuing in terms of such advances towards the teacher, so much so that she had to change her job, but the matter that was neglected clearly. And Samarth there getting us all the details on this particular incident that has shocked one and all. The CCTV footage that has emerged of this student, a teen, a class 12 student who molested his teacher. In that CCTV footage, you can clearly see how he bit off her lips and even tried to molest her. A complaint that has now been filed by the victim's brother, and investigation that is underway into this matter. Shifting focus now after the suicide of 3 girls in Ghaziabad, shocking details that have surfaced in the case. As the probe deepens in the case, police sources who have revealed that the minor girls were deeply influenced by Korean culture. The girls' father, in an exclusive conversation with India Today, revealed that the girls had adapted Korean personalities and even changed their names. The father also added that his daughters were addicted to Korean drama and videos and were adamant on visiting Korea. These girls who even gave suicide threats if they were not allowed to go to Korea. Now, according to police sources, the girl's father was going through financial difficulties and had to pay a debt of 2 crore rupees. And let's now cut across to Lok Sabha proceedings.
तो हमारे पास मेरे पास पुख्ता ऐसी जानकारी आई कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के कई सदस्य माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के आसन पर पहुंचकर कोई भी अप्रत्याशित घटना कर सके। ये दृश्य मैंने सदन में देखा भी सही। अगर ये घटना हो जाती तो ये अत्यंत अप्रिय दृश्य देश के लोकतांत्रिक परंपराओं को तार-तार कर देता। इसको टालने के लिए मैंने माननीय प्रधानमंत्री से आग्रह किया कि उन्हें सदन में नहीं आना चाहिए, और सदन के सभापति होने के नाते मेरी जिम्मेदारी बनती थी कि सदन की उच्च परंपराओं गरिमाओं को अक्षुण्ण बनाए रखें। सदन के नेता सदन में न बोले, ये सभा के लिए किसी प्रकार के लिए उचित नहीं है। सदन के नेता ने उपस्थित न रहकर मेरे आग्रह को मानकर सदन को अप्रिय दृश्य से बचाया। मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को इसके लिए आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि उन्होंने मेरे सुझाव को माना। आप पोस्टर पंपलेट लेकर आएंगे तो सदन नहीं चलेगा, आज भी नहीं चलेगा, कल भी नहीं चलेगा। सदन की परंपराओं, गरिमा, सभागृह की गरिमा परंपरा को रखो। कल की घटना देश ने देखी है, किस तरीके से महिला सदस्य वहां तक पहुंची है। ये कोई उचित नहीं था और ये सदन की गरिमा के अनुकूल भी नहीं था। आप सभागृह की गरिमा को गिराना चाहते हैं। आप अपनी तरफ रहें, उनकी तरफ रहें। भाषण शब्दों से आप आरोप प्रत्यारोप लगा सकते हैं, शब्दों से कोई भी बात भी कह सकते हैं, लेकिन आप इधर आसन में आकर जिस तरीके की घटना कर रहे हैं ये उचित नहीं है। सदन की कार्रवाई कल शुक्रवार दिनांक 6 फरवरी 2026 को प्राप्त 11 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
And that's the exact reason of why Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address that was expected to happen in Lok Sabha yesterday, and the reply to the motion of thanks on the President's address, but did not happen because of the chaos that occurred in the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, who puts out the exact details of how he had urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi to not deliver that address, given the sort of incidents that had happened, where women MPs who carried banners, they gave out Prime Minister's seat. And remember, this happened minutes before Prime Minister were to deliver that speech in the Lok Sabha. A group of women opposition MPs who slowly moved towards Prime Minister's seat carrying those banners ahead of his proposed address. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, who's put out the exact details of how he had advised the Prime Minister to not come to the Lok Sabha to deliver that address, as there could have been a plot to not just ghair out Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but something that was certainly in the planning and could have been bigger. And for the very reason, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, who has now put out the exact details of how he was the one who had urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he had advised him not to come to the House to deliver that address. Chaos and sloganeering that has been continuing in Parliament, and that had forced the Speaker to adjourn the House, the slugfest that has been ongoing between the opposition and the BJP. And there you see those pictures of opposition women MPs who gave out Prime Minister's seat for the very reason. Om Birla, I beg your pardon, putting out exact details of how he had advised Prime Minister Narendra Modi to not come to the House, to not deliver the address in the Lok Sabha that was expected to happen yesterday at 5 p.m. Let me take this to my colleague Moshmi, joining us live on the broadcast. She's with us on the phone line, in fact. Moshmi, details coming in of what you're picking up from your sources within the Congress with regards to these allegations or these women MPs from the opposition who gave out Prime Minister's chair. What was the larger plan?
So clearly, this is unprecedented that the Speaker would come in the House and say that he requested the Prime Minister not to speak in the House because he got this information that there could be unparliamentary scenes, unpleasant scenes unfolding in the House, and opposition MPs, he said, he got a tip-off that the opposition MPs could misbehave with the Prime Minister, and therefore he requested the Prime Minister, who was in the Parliament but did not come to the House, the lower house, not to speak at 5 p.m. yesterday. He also said that the scenes that I witnessed in the Lok Sabha chamber, those scenes are also very unpleasant and unprecedented. Normally the political differences are not brought to the Speaker's chamber, but opposition MPs before the House convened came to the chamber, and the way they behaved was also very, very disrespectful. The Speaker thereby said that if decorum is not maintained, the House will not run, it will not run today, and if the rules are broken, it will not run tomorrow, and with that he adjourned the House. That in itself is clearly the Speaker taking the baton, saying that it was not the government that decided that Prime Minister would not speak. As the opposition was saying that the Prime Minister was afraid, and Rahul Gandhi had claimed that Prime Minister would not get the courage to speak, the Speaker said that he had requested the Prime Minister not to speak because the scenes were getting very unruly and the House was being adjourned and opposition MPs could perhaps create trouble, and that's why at his behest the PM agreed to not speak in the House yesterday.
All right, thank you for getting us those details. Let's once again listen in to what Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has said on this matter.
सदन के नेता ने उपस्थित न रह के मेरे आग्रह को मानकर सदन को अप्रिय दृश्य से बचाया। मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को इसके लिए आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि उन्होंने मेरे सुझाव को माना। आप पोस्टर पंपलेट लेकर आएंगे तो सदन नहीं चलेगा, आज भी नहीं चलेगा, कल भी नहीं चलेगा। सदन की परंपराओं, गरिमा, सभागृह की गरिमा परंपरा को रखो। कल की घटना देश ने देखी है, किस तरीके से महिला सदस्य वहां तक पहुंची है, ये कोई उचित नहीं था।
And that's a statement that has come in from Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla on how he said that he had advised Prime Minister Narendra Modi to not come to the Lok Sabha to deliver that address that was to happen yesterday at 5 p.m. On that note, as we'll continue to get you more news and updates, my colleague Sakshi Batra joining us with the latest on what is happening in the market. Sakshi.
Look, this investment Guru's tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Well said! Well said! Well said!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
Presented by National Stock Exchange. Co-powered by Purvankara, the art of development celebrating 50 years.
Good afternoon and welcome to you all. You're watching This is today's market closing show where we get you all the closing action on the Dalal Street. First up, let's look at what's hot in the corporate and the financial world. Silver prices crashed 9% in trade today, shed about 26,000 rupees per kilo and slipped below the 2.5 lakh rupee mark. The fall follows a sudden collapse in global silver prices this morning with a stronger dollar and easing US-China trade tensions adding the pressure on precious metals. Nifty slips after 2 days of gains. Broad-based selling that is caught the selling pressure in the trade today. Also pushes the index below 25,700 mark. Sensex also down below 83,400. The decline is led by metals, real estate stocks as well as the broader markets as investors are now looking to book profits. The broader market also mirrors weakness and trades under pressure. Hindustan Aeronautics shares fell by over 12% over the last two trading sessions on reports of delays in LCA Mk1A deliveries and claims that the company was not shortlisted for the AMCA stealth fighter program. HAL also clarifies that 5 aircrafts are ready and 9 more have been built and flown, with deliveries pending engines from GE Aerospace. India and the Gulf Cooperation Councils such as Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman and Bahrain are now signing terms of reference to restart talks on the free trade agreement, revive the negotiations after 16 years. The move marks a key step towards comprehensive trade pact aimed at boosting bilateral trade between India and the GCC bloc. The development follows recent trade deals with the US and EU. The European Union has now lifted its suspension on a key trade deal with the United States of America after President Donald Trump has dialed down tensions over Greenland. The move follows the EU's mega trade deal with India in January, termed the mother of all deals by EU chief Ursula von der Leyen, and a subsequent India-US pact that cut effective tariffs from 50% to 18%. Straight on to the India-US trade deal, viewers. We have actually seen that India and US are now going to be signing this trade deal by mid-March, and this is what our Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has revealed. The timeline as far as the India-US trade deal is concerned. A joint statement on trade deal is expected in the next 4 to 5 days. The first tranche is already ready and announcement could be coming in soon. Piyush Goyal has also mentioned that India is preparing legal text of the deal as well. He's also marked saying that executive order after joint statement, an executive order to lower the US tariffs to 18% will be made. He's also marked how more duty concessions are likely soon, and duty concessions are likely in further tranches as well. So those are important statements coming in from Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal on the India-US trade deal. Remember, we've been constantly talking about that we need the fine print to find out whether this deal is a win-win on both the sides, which are the key sectors that will benefit the most. Finally, there could be a joint statement on the trade deal in the next 4 to 5 days. Some more tranches in terms of concessions could be coming in soon. An executive order could also be signed very soon as well. So those are important statements coming in.
हमारा पहला ट्रांच बायलैटरल ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का लगभग तैयार हो गया है। हमारी उम्मीद है कि अगले 4-5 दिन में हम एक जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका और भारत के बीच में फाइनलाइज करके साइन कर देंगे। साथ ही साथ एक फॉर्मल एग्रीमेंट ड्राफ्ट हो रहा है जिसको शायद महीना भर 1.5 महीना लग सकता है, और उस फॉर्मल एग्रीमेंट को मिड मार्च तक साइन करने का अंदाजा है। लेकिन 18% जो यूएस टैरिफ्स घटने हैं वो जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट अनाउंस होने के बाद एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर द्वारा यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका कर देगा, because there are further concessions that we will get after the legal agreement. No, there is no investment commitment. वो बोलने में शायद कभी चूक हो जाती है। ऐसा है कि we already have stated on record in Parliament and otherwise that the fast-paced growth at which India is going ahead in our journey in the Amrit Kal to Viksit Bharat 2047, we will need large volumes of energy, we will need large number of data center equipments, ICT products. Our steel capacity is going to double from today's 140 million tons to about 300 million tons in the next few years. And therefore, when we estimated what we will need from the USA, we came to a figure of at least $500 billion. We can clearly see before our eyes as potential that we can procure from the United States of America over the next 5 years. Our aircraft demand alone, orders placed on Boeing and yet to be placed but ready, are nearly $70-80 billion. If you add the engines and other spare parts, it will probably cross $100 billion. Just aircrafts alone.
Straight away, let's go across to our guest of the day, Sharmila Joshi, market expert, is joining in. Sharmila, good afternoon to you. Welcome. As well as we have Mr. Ajay Kedia joining in on the program to detail for us what's really happening in the bullion market as far as silver and gold prices are concerned, why they're crashing again. But first to you, Sharmila, on the US-India trade deal, we were talking for so many months and, we've been pondering about it for so long. It comes in just when you least expected it and you were just trying to decode the fine print of the budget. But what's the sense that you have now? Some more clarity coming in from Piyush Goyal that yes, over the next 4 or 5 days, there could be a joint statement that could be released, final executive order could be released. He's also marked that maybe in the future tranches, there could be further duty concessions as well. He's also clarified to one of the reporters asking there that there is no commitment of so far investment that is being made. There was a fear about that $500 billion mark that Donald Trump had put on through social. He's clearly marked out that there is no commitment. If at all, a lot of experts are pointing out that there is no time foundation that only in so much time you have to do that $500 billion. But what's your sense on the US-India trade deal and why do you think the markets are really not carrying on with that enthusiasm?
While it's good news because, we have the president as well as the prime minister announcing it, it's just that all the things that you have said as well as sort of reality has caught up. Because let's not forget, we've been talking of this deal for now more than 6 months. And then to hear after that, after the deal is announced that actually nothing is signed. And today we hear that the first tranche will be signed next month. And then all these sort of numbers flying around and what exactly does this 500 billion? I mean, this is a number which not just the president put on Twitter, but even his officials there have sort of spoken to their media about that this is the commitment they have from India. So it just brings to question that is it really a fair deal for us? And so I think a little bit of reality has caught up with that. And so first day you had a disappointment for the budget, then you had a positive announcement, so you saw the market bouncing back. And now we've had some sort of reality sort of coming in. So I think there's no taking away from the fact that both the reactions, both the budget disappointment as well as the announcement, everything is, in that sense, knee-jerk. But market is very precise, in the sense that the way it prices itself, it's sort of collective knowledge is it always amazes me that markets as a whole always get it right. So I think all the reactions are absolutely justified where they are, and hopefully from now on markets will carry on the back of the good news that we've got as well as building on the earnings.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the markets are concerned. Some more breaking news coming in on your screens, viewers. This is as far as the government in to privatize the IDBI Bank in FY27 is concerned. There are reports that are indicating so, that the government may... Okay, and there's another news that's also coming in, and that's as far as the CBDT head is concerned. He's talking about how retail investors may rethink the F&O trade, and that's what he is talking about at this point in time, even though he said we can't forcefully bar F&O trading for retail investors. He's also said that we've made F&O trade costly to deter the volumes. He's also pointed out how retail investors may rethink the F&O trade for now. Those are the statements coming in from the CBDT head at this point in time. Let me take Sharmila's quick point there. Sharmila, we've been seeing how SEBI and now the government through policy measures also is trying every which way possible to curb the kind of volumes that we are seeing in the F&O trade to protect the retail investors at large. We've seen in the recent budget how the securities transaction tax has been hiked in the derivatives market as well by 150% for futures trade and 50% by options trade as well. And now you have the CBDT head now talking about that how they can't forcefully bar F&O trading for everybody, but they can take any countermeasures that they are in their hands to deter any volumes or increased participation from retailers. How would you look at it?
Well, I I'm not really in favor of this move of increasing taxes. I think, some relief was, market expected some, or at least you could have left things untouched. Because, I think Mr. Samir Arora made a very valid point when he said that the market should also be considered as a sector. So, if you're saying that this is a sector that's not doing well, you want to do something to help it. You don't want to do anything to help it, but don't do something that will actually drag it further down. Because, we've seen how markets have been in this past year, where mid caps have performed, how large caps have performed, how we are trading global markets. And in that scenario, to come and do tinker around with this kind of a tax on a segment which is very, very large and which a lot of people use very actively, according to me, I think it could have been avoided. And this kind of, I think, policing never really goes a long way. We've been taxing cigarettes forever. I don't think people have stopped smoking. It's a similar thing. I think if people want to do FNO, they are going to do FNO. So I hope that we see some rationalization over a period of time.
Okay. Let's also, bring in Ajay Kedia ji in the conversation, and I want to focus on the precious metals that have been witnessing another round of sell-off today. It started off with the global collapse in silver's prices spilling sharply into the Indian markets. MCX silver slumped so much that we saw a 27,000 rupee drop in a single day as well. As far as MCX silver prices are concerned, gold dropped by about 2,500 rupees, and the repercussion is being seen on the ETF prices as well. Most of the silver ETFs are down anywhere between 13 to 15%. Gold ETFs are down 3 to 4%. Ajay ji, what is the key reason why we are seeing a fresh round of sell-off? We saw initial sell-off was again bought into yesterday and day before, but again today there's a sell-off. So investors are not able to understand what really is happening. What are they supposed to do? Buy the dip or stay away from this volatility?
Very good afternoon. And what a start we can say 2026. We have started 2026 with one of the finest gain we have ever seen for gold. In 1980, we have seen 30% gain in a single month. And 2026 is a period where we have seen around 28% gain. Similar case for silver also, we have seen 1st Jan to 28th Jan, we have seen 70% single month gain. Everything was going fine, but a parabolic move because the moment in a single day on COMEX on 26th of Jan when Indian market was on holiday, around $18 gain and $18 fall. This is called a mania actually. This has already resembled in 1980, 2011. And that was the day from where we have seen volatility has increased. Margins across all the exchanges, it could be CME, LME, Shanghai, Indian MCX. Margin has shoot up from let's say 20% to 65 in case of silver and from normal 6-7% to around 26% in case of gold. And reason might be new Fed chairman or dollar has recovered from 4 years low. Tension between US, Iran has slightly de-escalation. All these factors has made contribute this profit booking, and still we are counting that further more correction would be there as ETF sell-off is continued to be there. So slightly be cautious at this moment. We can see long-term fundamentals actually is going to be very positive, but still there is a scope of weakness from here.
So how much scope? So right now we actually slipped down to what, 2.41 lakh rupees per kilo for silver. That's what we slipped to after the maximum crash that we saw today. For gold also, we saw the prices inch down by 2,500 rupees per 10 grams. Where exactly is the level that you're looking at if this volatility and the downside is to continue? How much more downside?
So actually commodity is a cyclic thing. When a rally start, it will continue to be there for 2.5 years, 3 years. But now cycle has totally turned down. Whatever the factors are maturing now. So we expect 2026 is going to be a negative year for gold and silver first of all. From here, we still expect, things are not matured wholly, like central banks are continuously buying or geopolitical tensions are still going on, but on the verge of completion. As of now, immediate support for silver is $70, which is around 2,10,000, 2,20,000 in case of domestic side. Whereas overall, we expect in 2026, we can see level like $54 on international, whereas on domestic side, it could be around 1,60,000, 1,70,000 band. Coming on gold, will be slightly support here, will get some support like gold silver ratio is now improving. which means gold will immediately get a support at 4400 level mark, which is 1,25,000 on domestic side. But overall, I think this year going to be a negative for gold and silver.
Very quickly, Ajay ji, if I have to ask you, because the appetite to buy gold and silver is still not away. Like you pointed out that central banks are buying. I'm talking about even the retail investors. They are only trying to find out if they have missed the rally, where can they still get an entry. They're still hoping that yes, once again, we can see a 4 lakh level on silver. We can still see 1.8, 1.9 lakh rupees on gold also. So they are looking at a very keen eye that, you know, how much more downside so that I can just get an entry. So what are you telling those retail investors?
I think retailers should avoid as of now any entry. Go with the SIP so that in next 6 months when things are been getting sorted out, you will get a better pricing, because already since last 3 years you have got very tremendous return. In fact, in last 1 year, silver has given 330% return. None of the asset class give this type of return. So this was just a time where we have to reduce our position. So I think if you are an investor, go with the SIP, which will give you a better return. And whenever this type of consolidation period comes, SIP is works better on value averaging.
Thank you so much, Ajay ji, for sharing all that view with us. Coming back to Sharmila. Sharmila, I also wanted to ask you, when it comes to the markets, which have so far underperformed the other asset classes like gold and silver, what are the chances in this year? Like Ajay ji said that it could be a negative year for gold and silver. Do you see this time around Nifty coming back, markets coming back, outperforming gold and silver? And therefore, if somebody is still looking for an opportunity or an option between the two, should it be markets?
Or, I don't know about outperforming, but I think certainly you can make a case for buying large cap, mid caps at this point in time, because there has been a lot of pressure on stocks in the last, I think year and a half, especially the mid cap space. And, now as the uncertainty sort of settled down, when the trade deals are in place over a period of time, earlier we had discussed the EU deal, that will also play out. Hopefully we'll see the first tranche signed and things over there will also settle down. Then it will really be back to earnings and back to stories people like at any given point in time for reasons that may come up. Like for instance, a lot of people are now talking of steel and that domestic steel prices will see an improvement. So if some story sort of takes the fancy of investors, then you could see that sector starting to perform and capex cycles getting back to picking up. So I think the case can be made in a very short sentence to really invest in large cap and mid caps. You could buy mutual funds, you could buy stocks, but certainly I think that this could be the year where we could hopefully see better returns than we have in this last year.
Okay. Let me also focus on some of the key sectors that have taken a sharp beating over the last couple of days, and that's IT sector. We've seen some fresh fears of AI, especially coming from Anthropic's new tools that have hit the sentiments largely around IT sector. Yesterday, we had seen a sharp crash of over 6%. Today, there was some bounce, but again, we've seen the index slip about 0.6% order. So how are you approaching the IT sector amid these fresh fears? What should investors do?
Well, I think that if the US tranche gets done, then I think definitely IT as a sector can be a buy, because we have seen a lot of things put on hold because of the kind of news flow that we had. But let's not forget that I think AI is a very real threat, and I do think that Indian companies are dealing with it simply because I think the people who are getting the contracts from them are also sort of including it. Some sort of AI component in their, in the solutions that they want. And we have a very large talent pool in terms of delivering code for AI. So it's not like we don't have the people to deliver. It's just, I think, a vertical we haven't really started using as much. But in terms of making the products and making the solutions, I think we are there. So we've also heard a lot of talk of data centers, etc. in the budget. So I think we're definitely looking to be more relevant in AI, which is, I think, good news. But just, I think, from a stock perspective, if the US deal gets done, then hopefully we will see, so things falling back into place for a lot of the stocks.
Sure. Quickly looking at the markets at this shut shop, 25,642. There is a loss of about 133 points as far as the Nifty is concerned. All the sectors barring PSU banks have ended into the red, with the broader markets, the small caps particularly seeing the worst of the fall there, over a % cut there. Metals also down by over a %. You could see autos, private banks, real estate, IT, all of them under pressure. But in terms of the winners, you have Trent post earnings still up by about 2%, Max Healthcare, Tata Steel, you have JSW Steel and ONGC as among the gainers as far as the Nifty is concerned, rising anywhere between 1 to 3 odd %. On the downside, however, you do have again the metal stocks, Hindalco that's down. Eternal has given up some of their gains yesterday. You can see Bharti Airtel, also SBI Life Insurance, ITC as some of the stocks that have come under pressure. Also, news just coming in, viewers, government to privatize IDBI Bank in FY27. The government may dilute some stake in LIC also in FY27, and government aims to offload about 6% LIC stake in the next 2 years. There are also reports that are suggesting that 4% of Indian Overseas Bank share sale is also planned by via QIP as well. The Indian Overseas Bank monetization will help meet the FY26 divestment aim right there. Shimirani is with us to share with us more details on the privatization of the banks there, Shivani. All right, I think let me just quickly take one view from Sharmila on this. Sharmila, how do you see the privatization aim of the government? This time around, there has been also an uptick as far as the disinvestment target is concerned from the budget. We have an 80,000 crore figure now coming in from the government. How do you see this is long awaited, has been in the works? Finally, IDBI Bank, LIC, now even IOB monetization could be in the works.
Very good news to hear, because I think that, as you said, not just this, but a lot of companies that we've been hearing for the longest time that we will see some sort of privatization, and that's not happened. I think IDBI, I could be hearing for the last 10 years, if not more. So, it will be good to finally see that getting done. And I think even LIC, if it were to see a private player come in, I think, the kind of products that they offer, because they have fallen back behind some of the private life insurers. So it would be good to see sort of competition in that space as well.
Okay, shifting focus to also the defense sector, especially HAL, that has been slipping quite a bit over the last 2 sessions. In fact, the stock is down by 12% in the last 2 days following reports that the company may miss the delivery deadline for LCA Mk1A fighter jets for the Indian Air Force. However, HAL has clarified, saying 5 aircrafts are ready and 9 more have been built and flown. To understand more clarification in detail, we are joined by Shivani Sharma of India Today. Shivani, yesterday we were talking about how HAL was knocked out of the race to build the stealth aircraft, and now we are hearing some more clarification coming in on the deliveries. But so far the news is that perhaps HAL will again miss the deadline when it comes to delivery of Mk1A fighter jets.
See, Sakshi, yesterday's clarification was about the AMCA, which happens to be the 5th generation fighter jet of India, already in the development phase. But today, the clarification is about the Tejas Mark 1A, that happens to be one of the biggest fighter jet projects of India for the Indian Air Force, in which there are 2 orders. One, which was signed in 2021, that was an order for 83 Tejas Mark 1A fighter jets that the HAL is already working on. The second order that was signed this year, last year, in fact, in September, that was for more than 62,000 crores. So if we combine both these orders, this happens to be a figure of more than 1,15,000 crores for 180 aircraft. So for the clarification, HAL has told the customer that the development and the manufacture is at pace, and they are actively in talks with the Indian Air Force to deliver at least 5 fighters in this financial year. So that's the clarification about, and HAL is confident that upon getting the engines from GE from the United States, they have so far got only 5 engines. So they say they are 5. They're ready with the 5 aircraft and 9 more. And when they'll get more engines, the streamlining of the deliveries will happen, and they are quite confident that in this financial year,
Thanks a lot, Shivani,
they will be delivering.
Details. We are running out of time. Quick comment there. Sharmila, on HL. Would you buy this dip? But Morgan Stanley believes there could be 20% more downside to the stock price right now.
I think it would make good sense to wait for a quarter and see if this delivery happens, because definitely the order is there, but the concern seems to be
Thanks
whether
a lot.
they deliver on time. Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sharmila. Out of time completely, and thanks a lot to viewers also for joining in on this special broadcast as well. Stay tuned for more updates to follow right next, and stay tuned for the Friday morning opening action with Abba Bakaya tomorrow morning at 9.
Presented by National Stock Exchange. Co-powered by Purvankara, the art of development celebrating 50 years.
Look, this investment guru tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Well said! Well said! Well said!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.